Early one morning, a villager walking by the river sees a baby floating downstream. Quickly, he jumps into the river and rescues the child. But then he notices another baby floating in the river. Again, he jumps into the river to bring that child to safety, saving another life. Once more, the villager gazes back, and this time he sees dozens of babies floating down the river. He calls an alarm to his entire village, and everyone rushes to the river, trying to rescue as many babies as they can before the river carries the babies away. This is a village that is improving lives. Many babies are being saved. Unfortunately, the babies keep coming. The villagers don't realize they need to go upstream and put a stop to the ogre that is throwing the babies into the water in the first place. If they don't, they'll be pulling babies out of the water forever. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime.
I am the mother of 3 kids. I came to the Family Relief Nursery shortly after I left my marriage of 7 years. I heard about the nursery through Women's Space and through meeting Heather Murphy at our kids' preschool. I grew up in Cottage Grove and moved back with my kids to live with my parents while I got back on my feet. My marriage had been filled with fighting and tension. Finances were tight. We were living in Lowell, where I felt isolated and had very little support in place. My husband was verbally abusive, especially towards me and towards my daughter. I noticed that his discipline was especially harsh towards her. Our fighting was escalating, and there were a couple of incidences where I was afraid for my safety and that of my daughter. I had wonderful support from my parents, but it was a difficult time. I was feeling pretty vulnerable as a newly single mom. I immediately began to seek out services for my kids. My 2 boys were acting out aggressively towards me at times, and my daughter did not want to leave my side. I enrolled each of us in counseling. I began attending the Saturday Circus parenting program at LCC, and I called the Family Relief Nursery. I received an initial home visit from Alice. She explained the nursery's programs and helped me apply for the therapeutic classroom program, which had a waiting list. My youngest son, Clay, began attending the respite program. Perla was his teacher, and she was exceptional. We continued with home visiting and attended nursery social events, and then an opening came up for Clay in the preschool class. Angela and Jake are his teachers now. Angela conducts home visits where we talk about how Clay is progressing towards his goals and how we are doing as a family. We are now living in Quarry Commons here in Cottage Grove, where I'm the on-site manager. I teach swimming lessons at the local pool and am planning to go back to full-time work in the fall. My older children attend Latham Elementary, and Clay continues at the nursery. My goal is to be completely self-sufficient. When I came to the Family Relief Nursery, I was very worried about my kids. They had been exposed to so much fighting and stress. By leaving, I was taking the necessary steps to prevent further trauma for my kids. I wanted to make sure that they received all of the help that I could find for them as we adjusted to our new life. At first, I felt true relief as a result of the support that we received at the nursery. Now I am feeling hopeful as my kids and I look towards the future.
Family Relief Nursery was built on the principle of prevention. Our goal is to prevent child abuse.
We work to protect children by strengthening families under stress.
We offer a comprehensive set of services aimed at reducing risk factors that are known to lead to instances of child abuse and neglect.
Risk factors include domestic violence, poverty, and substance abuse.
Our programs are proven to significantly reduce those risk factors in as few as 6 months.
Families of all circumstances come through our doors.
They are vulnerable and scared.
It takes a lot of courage to ask for help for your family.
The issues that they share are very personal.
They are immediately put at ease by our friendly staff and our bright and cheery atmosphere. Son fácilmente acogidas por nuestro amigable personal y nuestro ambiente alegre y positivo.
We help them find the strengths that they never knew they had.
We celebrate with them as they realize their family goals.
We never want to know what we prevent. Family Relief Nursery was built on the principle of prevention.